Alrighty, everybody. It's about 2:01. We're going to hold off for a few minutes so that we can get everyone in that wants in. I'm just pulling up documents here on my screen. At least right now, it should say Campus 101 with a PowerPoint.
Yes, it does.
So it looks like we have 23 participants.
And we made some from the 2:00 session, Aaron.
Yeah, just flipping to 3 o'clock. Let's see, the stock market's closing right now.
We sent an invite to all of those who were on the 2:00.
Yeah, we can wait here. We'll wait here about 3 minutes.
Okay.
So thanks everyone for joining. We're going to give people a chance here just to log in. We'll get going at 3:03. At least on my TV, the stock market just closed, so it is 3 o'clock, so we'll wait 3 minutes. That's at least how I monitor my work at home days is when the stock market opens at 8:30 a.m. Central Time and when it closes at 3. I know I got an hour and a half left of work, so really appreciate everyone's patience. We had technical error at 2 o'clock. So instead of hearing the silky voice of Brian Mack from Alternative Dispute Resolution, you're unfortunately going to be subjected to me. Hopefully that won't deter people from leaving. As you've probably seen, we've had a number of different supplemental trainings that we're going to be doing. What we're going to be talking about today is kind of a revised 101 to familiarize people a little bit more. Later on this week, we have what we're calling session 1, where Brian Mack is going to cover access to documents. We also have what we've called a session 2 on initiating disputes, and then a session 3 related to scheduling. We're also going to continue to feature office hours, our answer hours, campus answer hours. Tomorrow, Angela Anderson is going to be presenting on the law community as it relates to permissions, probably a presentation more geared toward law firm administrators and their functions and roles. So we got just under a minute before we're going to kick this off. Like any of our programs, this is going to be recorded. While I'm thinking about it, I'm also going to pull up some resources off the Department of Labor and Industry website. So if you're looking at my screen, you can see how I'm getting to it. All roads lead to campus. So all right. Well, I see that it is 3:03, so I'm going to get going here. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat function. We'll try and get the chat function, the questions answered. So my name is Aaron Frederickson. I'm a mediator arbitrator with the Alternative Dispute Resolution Unit within the Department of Labor and Industry. What we're looking at here is the department's website with campus resources. How I navigated to this is I went to the Department of Labor and Industry website. I clicked on workers' compensation, scrolled down to the bottom, and clicked on Work Comp Campus. There's a lot of different information, especially too based upon what your background is or where you're coming from. Probably some points of interest is additional training sessions that we have coming up here that you can register for by clicking on the buttons to access that information. We also have video presentation recordings of prior presentations, Campus 101, Campus 201, dispute resolution for external stakeholders, various videos. One other item that I wanted to call out, if you click on here on the button that says training videos, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this into the chat feature, is what this is web videos on a wide variety of campus topics. The thing that I like about this is they're very short, and it's kind of a how-to. It's kind of like doing anything, a fixer-upper. There's a YouTube video for it. So let me just post this here just 1 second. So I went ahead and just posted that in the chat feature. So kicking this off, jumping into my PowerPoint here. Thanks for joining us today. Campus is the modernized workers' compensation at the Department of Labor and Industry. It's going to perform a number of functions that include self-service online access, securely send email and documents. One of the things I like about this is now when I send an email, I have to encrypt it. Then it gives you that message that you got to click on, wait for the one-time code, and then open it. It's frustrating. It's cumbersome. I can send documents now to you or anyone on my team. Send them to you via here. It's a secure portal between the Department of Labor and Industry, the Office of Administrative Hearing, and the Workers' Compensation Court of Appeals. I would like to note that anything that you currently file at the Office of Administrative Hearings, you need to still do that on CTRAC. You cannot accomplish that goal on campus. So please take out your marker and highlight that. And hopefully too is minimize any errors that might happen because workers' compensation is very important. On the campus system, and we're going to jump into it shortly, there are a number of details page. We have details pages for an injured employee or other entities. We have details pages regarding claims. And a claim, an example of a claim would be a specific date of injury within or for an injured employee, and then disputes or cases. And a case would be a dispute that an injured employee has. So you have a claim, let's say the employee is injured on January 1st, 2020. It's an admitted injury, and now they're seeking additional medical care and treatment. They are going to initiate a dispute or a case regarding medical benefits. Let's say later on they want to go ahead and change the QRC. They would initiate another dispute or a case regarding rehabilitation benefits. So each individual employee can have multiple claims, meaning multiple different dates of injury. And within each claim, they can have multiple cases. And we see this here, just some of the common elements that are found on the various details pages within campus. And this is important to remember when you're going through, and this is probably a PowerPoint slide that's been made available and might be useful to go ahead and print it up and just go ahead and hold on to it for future reference. So this is what the dashboard is going to look like. And personally, I like the dashboard within Campus. To me, it really gives me all of the information that I want. And again, this might be something that you want to go ahead and print up. Again, you'll probably print it up, and then after 2 weeks, you won't use it. So jumping into Campus, this is a test account that I have for Bill Preston. For those of you that are Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure fans, you'll recognize the name there. So this is what your dashboard might look if you are an attorney And it doesn't matter whether or not you represent an injured employee or an employer or insurer, etc. Kind of some of the highlights, the quick navigation to always get back to your main page is clicking in the upper left-hand corner of that page on the Department of Labor and Industry symbol, and that will navigate you back to your home page. It didn't do that because I'm already on my home page. This Submit a Filing tab is probably something that attorneys are going to become good friends with and using a lot. When they're filing a notice of representation, they want access to a case or a claim, and they will go ahead and click on this button. Probably the other most often used button is the Initiate a Dispute. So if I am an attorney and I want to request medical benefits from my client, if I want to go ahead and terminate vocational rehabilitation benefits for my client, I'll be using this on the drop-down. Probably another one that you'll be using is requesting for guidance on an unreported injury. It's important to remember that injured employees are still required to report their work injury immediately to their employer, and then having the employer complete out the necessary paperwork and submit that to their workers' compensation insurance carrier. This would probably most be used as for an example of someone comes into your office and they do not have a claim that's within the system. Let's say that it's a medical only claim. So there wouldn't be a filing in most instances with the department. By clicking on this button, they can create what we call a claim shell, which creates kind of like a seed that can morph or develop into a claim once an actual document is filed with the department. Maybe the good example is that of placeholder. Some of the other features of the dashboard that I can show in more detail as opposed to looking on the small PowerPoint. This is where we can go ahead and get additional details on notifications. These are notifications that are system generated. On this particular case, I have an administrative conference that's filed or that's set for October 15th at the Department of Labor and Industry on dispute number DS02388043. It was created 4 days ago. If I want to clear that, obviously I can just go ahead and click clear. This is the information where I'm going to find out information about my account. If I would want to update my name instead of Bill, I want to be known as William. Maybe I found out my middle initial is not S. I can update it there. Date of birth. If I want to change my email address, I can go ahead and change my email address. I get a new phone number, or my law firm moves. I can go ahead and update that. My groups. This is information regarding my group. Right now, I'm the only member of Bill and Ted's Excellent Law Firm, and I'm currently set as, I have permissions as Group Administrator, Service of Process Designee, Designated Contact, Profile Management Designee, and Claims Access Administrator. So I got a lot of power. If I want to go ahead and update that, let's say that I'm adding an attorney to my firm, I can go ahead and manage group. I'm not going to go too much in detail in this because we want to keep this just a very basic overview. And then obviously if I want to log out. So again, let's say that I didn't want to go into this and I'm freaking out. All I need to do to navigate back to my home screen is click in the upper left-hand corner and I'm back at my home screen. Kind of the main things, and I like this. This tells me I have 2 open claims, 1 upcoming event, and I don't have any new documents that have been generated. Down here, I have tabs. I currently am responsible for 2 claims. So this is Cleopatra Calderon and her claim for a date of injury of 9/1/2020, and Art F for a date of injury of October 21st, 2019. So Again, I can see that information. I can look in. On those two specific claims, you can see that I have a number of disputes or cases. And then there's various forms or documents that have either been generated or are somewhere in the process of being drafted. So you can see here, for example, I uploaded some documents on October 12, 2020, and this has been submitted. I have a confirmation number that's been generated by the system, but I know right here that I have some documents that are in drafting process, and I can click in here to see the details on that particular document and navigate, update, and edit those particular documents. I'm also able to, using this kebab function, to download those documents from this system if I want to go ahead and print it out and upload it into my case management system. Looks like we just had a little minor technical difficulty, but the whole point of this is just wanted to refamiliarize people with what the dashboard looks like once they get into the campus system and some of the other information that they're going to be using or have at their disposal when they're navigating on the system. One last main feature that I wanted to call out is I wanted to show my calendar. Now, as we talked about in our initial training sessions, this is not something that syncs with my Microsoft Outlook calendar. So the good thing is, for example, when this administrative conference on October 15th was generated, it sent an email to me and I could automatically, and I forget the technical name of those files. It's like an IPS file or something like that, and it will automatically save onto my Outlook calendar. This is the calendar that our staff will be using to schedule events. So if I know that I am out of the office on October 21st, I need to go ahead, edit, update availability. I need to edit. I'm going to create something. I'm going to be out of the office from 8 a.m. until noon. Let's say it's a doctor's appointment and I don't necessarily want to write, going to have my tonsils examined or something like that. I can just put personal. And my availability has now been updated. You can see right here. So when the scheduler goes in to that, they will know that you're not available for that date. If I want to get details, there's this little drawer. So I want to get more details on this administrative conference because it's coming up here on Thursday and I want to prepare. I'm pulling out the drawer and I see it's on a medical dispute for Art F. It was created by Angie Anderson. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to close that drawer and now it disappears. Again, going back to my dashboard, I can click here where it says dashboard, or just clicking on the Department of Labor and Industry web logo and get to that particular part of the dashboard. So this slide right here, and again, this might be something that people want to become familiar with, some of the various things and highlights. This was something I printed up about a month ago, and I thought I was going to forever be guided by this particular slide, and here I am. I'm no longer using it. Within campus, we're essentially doing or initiating disputes in reverse from how we did things in the past. So if I am a defense attorney and I wanted to terminate vocational rehabilitation benefits, I would file a rehab request. I would check the boxes that I want to go ahead and terminate vocational rehabilitation. I might want to, well, I should include my independent medical examination report indicating that the employee's injury is fully resolved, doesn't need restrictions, is malingering, whatever that report says, and then I serve and file it. Essentially, we're doing things backward, and this is kind of a flow chart on how we do things. For more in depth on how to initiate these disputes, sign up for an event with yours truly called Session 2, How to Initiate Disputes. But essentially, what we're going to do is step 1, locate the claim. So we select the claim. We choose the action. Do we want a mediation, a conference, no event, but just certify the event? Step 2, tell us what the issues are, medical or rehab. Basically, when we follow those steps, we're going question by question as far as telling the department what we want. I want a medical dispute. I want to request an MRI. Here's a copy of the doctor's report indicating the injured employee needs the MRI. I'm going to go ahead and upload that information, answer a few more questions. It will go ahead and generate the request for assistance document, request for medical assistance. It will automatically be able to serve and file that document if somebody is a user within the campus system, which will save time on your ends. It will help you sleep well at night knowing that that document has been served and filed on the other side. And then you can download that PDF, upload it to your document management system, and even print off a paper copy if you want to. Kind of some of the step-by-step processes here. Again, filing a notice of representation. What the heck, let's jump into campus and let's go ahead and do that. And it seems to want to make me log in every time. So I certainly apologize, but it is what it is, and we just got to smile here. Just gonna hit the refresh here. So there's really two ways that I can do things. File a notice of representation. On this method, I'm going to need to know I have 3 separate ways of getting into it. I know a number and an employee's last name. There we go. I want access to everything on that date of injury. So the claim, representing the injured employee, click on the name. There's no restrictions on my representation. I'm going to upload my retainer agreement. I've uploaded it. upload my notice of representation, sign off on the disclaimers, and my attorney ID number. Just going to double check that that number that I put in here is correct. This is going to demonstrate the ability to serve mall snacks and lumbermen's electronically. They're registered within the system. Declaration here. One important thing is making sure everything is accurate as you registered. If I had put Bill S. Preston, I'm not Bill S. Preston up here, I wouldn't be able to do it. The nice thing here, I have a confirmation. I have a confirmation number that it's been submitted. I can even go ahead and see the document. The notice of representation document and verification right down here that it was electronically served and filed. So just thinking of that is I did all that steps by myself. This is something that a paralegal or legal assistant could do for an attorney. And without having to mail anything or involve someone else. Forms queues, you're going to have your various forms that you're working with within a queue. Again, we already talked about notifications that people are going to have access to. These are going to be notifications that are generated via the system. So for an example, when this administrative conference was generated and set by the department, I automatically got a notification that it was upcoming. I can clear this out by clicking the X or clicking clear all, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that there because I'm going to need this for future or additional testing that I need to do on the system. I also have the ability to export documents or again, download documents in case I want to go ahead and update and put that document in a file management system. And again, this is just some more step-by-step on what we just did as far as filing a notice of representation. The important things here are the details pages. And I happen to like the details page because it's a quick snapshot of everything about a particular claim. It tells me that this right here, it's an employee that's receiving indemnity benefits. I have the campus file number, involves lost claim, details regarding the injury. And I think ultimately that helps people when they're on the defense side, when they're on the employee side, a quick narrative. She cut a shoelace in an escalator, resulting in developing injury. Other information regarding key dates and details that's going to be updated. Documents that are associated with this particular claim. As you can see, there have been a lot of notice of representations that have been added. And again, that's all for just demonstrative purposes, but this is where your documents are going to be. And again, going over to the Kebab, if I wanted to go ahead and download that document, it's going to appear in a zip file, and then I can put that in a document management system. There's also information on the tabs regarding parties and contact information for the parties. So right here, we have contact information for the employee. We have contact information for the employer, contact information for the insurance carrier, including who their attorney is, and it makes it easier. So you also have email addresses and the ability to pop that up. I can click right here and send email, or go ahead and send secured email through the campus system. Information regarding submitting a claim. Again, this is information that goes to creating what we call a claim shell, request for guidance on an unreported injury. And the functionality and usefulness of this would be primarily for attorneys representing injured employees, but also it could be a QRC, it could be a medical provider, etc. So I'm submitting information or creating my claim shell for an injured employee. And then there's the narrative as far as injury information, information on the employer. There's even lookup informations or lookup tools if I'm trying to look up an employer. Where I see that being useful is, someone might say that they hurt themselves at McDonald's, but it's actually a franchise that's doing business at McDonald's, but looking that up, and then tools to look up insurance information. So at least what we wanted to accomplish with this is kind of set the table for the additional 3 training modules that we're going to be doing this week and then later on into next week. Going back onto the Department of Labor and Industry website, under training, we have session 1, which is primarily going to be led by Brian Mack, access to documents. Session 2, how to initiate a dispute. In that program too, we'll even be covering responding to a dispute, which will be more useful for defense attorneys and assisting them and making sure they know how to perform that function. And then a session 3, which is going to take a deeper dive into scheduling in campus, probably more geared toward law firm administrators. We also have other sessions out there which are outside the realm of where the alternative dispute resolution is going to be doing training. So I'm assuming someone in compliance will be doing sessions on this, responding to requests for information, viewing penalties and filing and objections. But what we wanted to do is get out in front of the launch date on November 2nd and make sure that people are really comfortable with what they're going to be getting into, more or less by force. One of the things too that I would encourage is there's the external technical manual. The manual might look a little intimidating. What is it? I think it's like 129 pages, but it is broken out by topic so that people can find additional topics. So we are providing people with a whole host of resources. So on that first day of Go Live, there's the YouTube videos, there's this resource, and there's recorded programs that hopefully people have been taking advantage of, so that they do not feel like they're 100% completely lost on that first day. So I'm looking here at the questions, And I'm not seeing any questions. Sandy, I don't know, are you seeing anything?
I'm not seeing any questions. Does anyone have any questions they'd like answered at this point?
So I think one of two things happened. I either put people to sleep or I did a really good job answering all their questions. So I think at least in terms of what we can do is I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes and make myself available to answer questions in the chat queue. If you want to type those questions up, I can go ahead and answer them as they come in. But I certainly look forward to seeing everybody on the additional mini sessions that we are going to be putting in. I see someone typed in here that they're awake. Lots of information. Hopefully I did a good job of kind of condensing that. I can just say from my experiences, having worked in test environments on campus for quite some time, is that I was able to pick things up pretty quickly. And it took some patience. I'll admit I'm probably not the most patient person, but it just takes patience, persistence, and perseverance. I see a lot of benefit in this, essentially in the exchange of information. I think back to my days of active practice, and I had so many questions on my mind as far as did something get filed? And this way I can just jump on in the middle of the night and make sure that I did in fact file something. So I'm going to type my email address into the system, and people can go ahead and reply to me. When I do reply, they want me to include kind of the campus team on that, so we make sure that we have consistent messaging. So if you get a reply from me, you'll probably get several CCs on the bottom, and that's just more or less for a quality control and making sure that we're communicating the right information. So I hope that everyone had a good time. And I'm just going to continue to hang out. Any comments that you have, Sandy?
No, I think you did a nice job of covering Campus 101. And again, just would recommend to people, we do have recorded sessions of the earlier Campus 101, and all of that can be accessed through the links we provided within the chat. I have nothing further. Thanks, Aaron.
All righty, folks. Well, I'm not getting any questions, so I'm going to give you back 22 minutes on your day. And thank you very much for joining us today.